Good afternoon. September the 11th, 2001. A day that changed the lives of everyone in this room, whether you realize it or not. Your mention of the date is enough to send chills down your spine almost 10 years later. We all remember that day and what we were doing or where we were when we first saw those shocking images. I was in second grade at the time, and I didn't find out what had happened until my parents came to pick me up from daycare that afternoon. I couldn't quite wrap my head around it being only 7. It's one of those things you heard and saw, but you didn't understand how or why it had happened. Watching the news that night completely shattered my narrow-minded view of the world that most second graders hold to be true. I remember staying up that night and watching President Bush's speech, and I went to bed shocked, scared, and uncertain of what the future would bring. But in the days, and in the weeks, and the months that followed, I witnessed something truly great that I'd never seen before and haven't seen since. 9/11 is viewed as a negative event in American history for obvious reasons, but every cloud has a silver lining. And 9/11 caused Americans to give the money out of their wallets, the blood from their veins, and the time out of their lives for the good of their country. It caused Americans to put aside their differences and work together to clean up, recover from, and avenge the savage attacks of that late summer day. The heroism on 9/11 and the ones that followed also struck me. There's, of course, the 343 New York City Fire Department firefighters who died trying to rescue those trapped in the trade centers. There's the passengers on Flight 93, first people to fight back against the terrorists. What I found most inspiring, though, in the months that followed, was the way American people set aside their political, racial, and religious differences to help anyone and everyone affected by the attack. Even at the young age of 7, I knew what I was witnessing was something truly special. People started working harder, going to church, and giving more to those in need. Americans were more concerned with their country and their fellow countrymen than themselves. My question is, why does it take a tragedy for us to come together like that? If we could do that on a daily basis, imagine how much better this already great country could be. When America is united, like it was after 9/11, it is an unstoppable force for the good of mankind. After Pearl Harbor, for example, America came together and defeated 2 countries the rest of the world combined could not bring down. But it shouldn't take a Pearl Harbor. It shouldn't take a 9/11 to get us to work together. After such a tragedy, we set aside our labels. And for a short moment of time, we were just Americans. But time slowly brings those labels back. Our differences come between us, and before long, we're right back where we started. Now, this speech is about the Rotary 4-way test, which consists of 4 questions. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? The Rotary 4-way test is essentially a moral compass that reflects the American spirit that made this country great to begin with. After a tragedy, Americans passed the 4-way test. People are fair and honest. We put aside our differences for the common good. As time goes on, we start to lie and cheat. We become more concerned about ourselves than the common good. Old prejudices come back, people fight and bicker, and we no longer pass the 4-way test. If Americans could use the 4-way test to help each other without having to be spurred by a tragedy, the possibilities for this country are endless. In this country that can give you anything you want, you should be willing to give everything you have. That's why I challenge you to use the 4-way test to make America better. Small changes can make huge differences. It doesn't have to be much. Maybe give $1 or $2 to charity, spend 5 more minutes with your kids, or hang an American flag outside your garage. But if everyone did it, imagine how much better this country could be. World War II general and later 34th President of the United States, Dwight D. Eisenhower, once said, "There's nothing wrong with America that the faith, love of freedom, intelligence, and energy of our citizens cannot cure." I'm not saying we'd be perfect, but if we want to fix this country's problems, a new spending bill, passing health care, or slashing the debt would be nothing compared to the power of a truly united States of America. Thank you.